Hey there, and welcome one and all to an episode of the day Morski Edge, also known as Morski. And on today's date, I will be playing my doll. I guess doll lady. Yeah, I am playing Aria, who is here. She is ready to cause chaos. I'm so sorry. Anyways,
Okay.
would my other lovely co-host and friend like to join me?
Hello, everyone. I am Noodle or Pasta or Udon or whichever thereof you wish to refer to me as. And I am bringing another terrible rogue along to cause more chaos. Jubilee Yukon.
Can only end well.
Yeah, it's just two rogues causing problems. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, definitely no lore or angst, only causing other people problems, right? Yeah.
Side eyes how it's Wednesday. No, nothing. No angst. Not allowed.
Definitely not. So I guess on that note, it's a beautiful day in our town of choice. The birds are singing, the plants are growing. Did I mention the birds are singing? Anyway, Aria is just kind of doing some more traveling, especially after her most recent adventure. She is vibing with her new little creature friend. And she's honestly just having a good time. I believe this town is called Paradise as well.
It is. Paradise is, well, Aria, you find it's honestly pretty tight knit. For all the buildings are really close together, and it seems a little odd. There's a lot of trees here, like more than you've ever seen, and it seems like there's a lot of different types too. And that's some weird fruit on there. Wait, no, that's birds. That's a lot of birds. There is so much bird song, but it's not like harsh or grating at all. It's actually very pretty. And do you want to roll some perception?
Perception, you say? Arya, how much are you looking around right now? You're looking around a decent amount. That's a 26.
Yeah, you are. And it's very fitting because, Arya, my dear, you remember the specific sound of a certain guitar.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
you can look around and spot on top of one of the roofs, there's a very familiar beanpole who is playing guitar. Funny enough, there's also a few birds perched on him, too.
Cool. Arya thinks that's very neat. She doesn't know what a Disney or Giznap princess is, but if she did know, she would point.
Oh my gosh.
But I think she sees Jubilee up on the roof and is like, "Oh, friend, I want to go say hi, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll an acrobatics, and for hilarity, I'll roll stealth too, just to see whether she surprises him." So
Yeah, let's see how.
that's an 18 on the acrobatics.
Let's see.
That's a 29 on the stealth. Roll your perception.
Oh, he can't beat that. He cannot beat that. He cannot.
We can see if you get a nat 20. Something I can give you something for that, but
let's see. Are you perceiving Jubilee? He is not perceiving. He's keeping a good eye out, but he's really into his performance right now.
And also, Aria just like vibe checking him with her 29 in stealth.
Oh, it's a very familiar scene, honestly. It's, reminiscent of when she just kicked open his door in the inn. It's 1 minute, he's having a lovely time. It's a great day. He's actually doing really well. And then there's an off note as he just about jumps out of his own line work as Aria pops up next to him.
Truly, I imagine, like, literally climbs up, goes behind him, and is like, Hi, long time no see.
What?
Play great.
What? Huh? Hello? He just turns around like his glasses are a little askew and they're like,
Aria just waves, looks up to him and waves like, "Hi."
birds have flown away. He's just,
Aria watches as a feather or two fall down to the ground like, "Oh."
just, it's you again. Hi. I didn't expect. You're. We need to get you a bell. We need to get you a bell. Something. So you don't sneak up. Thank you, I suppose, for the compliment. Hi, yes. And he is very frazzled. He's very frazzled.
I love you so much. Yeah, Aria is like, "Hey, cool, glad to see you again. A bell? I mean, it would probably go well with the ribbons, especially because I have a couple more in my outfit now."
Oh, speaking of, let's see. I'm gonna carry that 18 because he does notice that there is a second ribbon on your hat, Aria. Can't possibly imagine where that was from. Not at all from
Yeah.
Animus or anything.
Definitely not. I can drop her art here as well, by the way.
Mhm.
Let me just re-find it.
Yeah. He's definitely not at all moved by that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Can I roll it? Wait, that's oh, this would be an insight, wouldn't it? I can't
Yep.
beat that.
Try for a nat 20.
I will.
Just to see.
18.
Nah. He's frazzled. It's definitely just because you snuck up on him. But he's managed to pull himself back together and kind of fix his glasses a little bit and shake himself out. Ugh.
That's cool.
And
That's cool. I feel like she sees his frazzlement and is like, "Oh, sorry. If you want, I can show you my own bird friend."
no, you'll fine. You don't need to apologize, kid. You're fine. You have a bird friend.
Yeah, and I'm just going to re-find the art. But she lifts her head, and from underneath it, she pulls out a little creature
Oh.
that looks like
Oh.
this.
Oh my god. It's so cute. Oh my god.
Because Staria was awesome and gave all of us in Gear Garden a little friend. This one in particular looks a little bit it's a little bit bigger than like great tit sized, but they're small, could easily fit underneath Arya's hat, and is like some shades of blue going towards indigo purple at the edges, so she just shows.
He's fine. He's fine.
I'm rolling
You can press
insight
X to
again.
doubt. Go
Press
ahead.
X to doubt. 24
Yeah.
picnic.
Yeah, Arya. You've seen something similar, and you've equally seen him fail to contain his excitement about something. There's those sparkles at the edge of his glasses. He is looking at this little creature with absolute fascination and awe, and is very much trying hard not to outright say, "This is one of the cutest things I have ever seen." But he's pretty much saying it anyway.
Cool. Arya's just like, "They're adorable, aren't they? This is Indigo."
Oh, their name is Indigo. Yes, they're very cute. Where did you get that?
Thank
By
you.
chance.
Um, so there was this whole adventure. There's a guy who's like hiring people to go into his magic bottles and get him stuff. Like there were these shiny crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the job. There was so like alongside me there was so I made some new friends. One's a dude called Rickett who is I can't remember whether or not Rickett is taller or shorter, but Chimera friend who was the brain cell of the gang. There was Marigold who's this really nice sensual girl. She's a doll like I am. We also technically know each other. We've heard of each other before, but it's nice to finally meet her. She's super nice. And there is Flick, who is really cool, and also, did you know he was able to sneak cookies into Miero's jacket? Miero is the guy who hired us, by the way.
So you had a cookie thief.
Well, I mean,
Reverse
Flick and
cookie thief, I think?
Yeah. Fleck and I both put a cookie in Miero's pockets. He seemed really tired, so he's like one of those tall, brooding types, you know? Not as tall as you are, but like, I'm gonna try and find him later. He seems neat.
Well, I mean, generally pausing a moment. Tall, brooding types. What's that arrow that's just pointing at him? That's weird. Wave that away.
Aria looks at the two tall brooding types in her life and is like, grabby hands, come here, you. I'm gonna found family you.
He has been nodding along. He seems genuinely interested in this and has stopped playing his guitar for now. And so you're looking for that person again. They wouldn't happen to be this way. Are they here?
I don't think so. From what I can tell, they're in Villastown. Most I was just exploring a bit. Cause it's nice to run around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, hey, didn't know I would see you here, but I'm glad I did. It's been a while.
Yeah. He does wince a little bit at the mention of Villestown, because he happened to just come from there.
Can I keep my 20 for an insight?
Yeah, go ahead. He winces a little bit. He's been to Villestown. He had a great time. Mm-hmm. He had a great time. Absolutely, definitely did not get bullied by a child at all.
Wonderful. Can I say Aria like perceives this? There's like a beat, and she goes, "How have your travels been going? Did you manage to get into anything exciting? Seems I get the feeling you might have been through a lot."
A lot. Well, I'm always traveling, so I always have plenty of stories. And he gets up to his feet. Just let's see. For the sake of he's telling a story. He's a bit of a showman. Yeah, that's a 25. He
Nice.
rises with surprising amount of grace. And almost seems kind of like if you've ever seen a performer step out onto stage and they become a character, it's almost like seeing that, of going from the frazzled Jubilee that you've seen a few times back into that sort of same person you saw when he was acting at the casino. And I've been around the place, but there was this one town in particular that was beset by a terrible curse. And yours truly went out and, happened to fix their problem for them. I was given I did have some help, but there was a terrible witch who had gone and enslaved the minds of the people. And that we had to go and free these poor citizens from her grasp because she had set storm clouds above so that no light may touch the land. And he
She a
continues,
vampire?
he pauses a minute, like, no. But she did have that same kind of fashion sense. Terribly tacky, lots of crow feathers everywhere. So overdone. Completely.
Oh, I see, I see. Like she nods as if she understands everything. She doesn't, but
That's fine. It's just gentle pat pat to her head. He can't help it. He sees that she doesn't understand. It's like it's fine. He's telling the story, and he continues
you
on.
can tell she's very much paying attention. Like
Yeah.
can't do like the sparkly eyes tunes do, because she's technically real kind, despite looking kind of toonish.
Mm-hmm.
But like she's entranced.
Mm-hmm. And he continues on with his story, painting the picture of the valiant heroes going to. He does laugh a little bit as he explains that they had to go out to a tower and retrieve a wizard. Because, of course, it's a tower. Of course, they had to go to a tower. They went to a tower on the last adventure. It's wizards and towers. What's the deal with wizards and towers? And he
I
had to
don't know.
go.
Maybe they like being able to see the view.
They like being tall. That's gotta be it.
Yeah. And hey, I mean, with a cool tower, that lets the rest of us scale it and look neat.
Exactly. Perfect.
She says as if most people have like the climbing skills the two in this party do.
Julie nods because, yeah, of course you're gonna scale a tower. It's tall and it's there, and what else do you do with towers?
Yeah,
That's obviously the coolest way to enter them. Considering, again, looking, they're on rooftops.
Exactly. It's like you don't climb towers just to get fit or anything. No, you do it to look cool. It's not like you're gonna play golf with it, are you? No.
No, not at all. You don't do that. It's not to steal. Certainly not. We are law-abiding citizens here.
Yeah. Don't mind the trespassing warnings these two have probably gotten in the past week or so.
Very many. Oddly enough, though, looking around, it seems like they're not the only ones on rooftops here. So they're not going to get yelled at this time. It actually seems like there's a few other people that are walking along the rooftops. And even as Jubilee's been telling his story and gesturing and being very animated while he does, there's a lot of like good places to stand on these roofs. Seems almost a little bit like the town was built to have two levels like this.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. There's a ground floor and a top floor.
Mm-hmm.
Probably makes it a lot easier to see all the bird friends.
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot up on the roofs. And like it does seem that is exactly the function of it because people come to see the birds here. And in fact, some do gather again just as things have settled down. There's a few more little bluebirds that seem very curious of Indigo. They're kind of hopping around, some fluttering close. Very interested.
Oh, let me just pull out the little fellow's stat sheet. I'll roll a charisma to see how much stage presence this dude has, and I'll roll a do I roll a wisdom or an intelligence to see whether the little fellow is like notices the birds around?
I'd say roll wisdom because I think that's what perception uses.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so roll some wisdom.
I guess first things first, charisma to see, like, what is this little fellow's stage presence. That's a 5.
Aw, it's okay.
Which, you know, it's fair. This is just a small friend, probably in Aria's lap. I imagine she settled down to listen to the story.
Mhm.
And let's go wisdom to see how much is friend perceiving. That's it too.
That's fine. Friend Indigo is listening to the story. Listening to the story. It's all right. He's
Happy
just,
to be here.
yeah, he's vibing.
Yeah.
Having a great time. And
Mm.
it all wraps up with Jubilee probably exaggerating a little bit for the sake of a good story as he tells about how they took this orb from the terrible witch and shattered it into 1,000 pieces and scattered it to the winds. But talks.
I'm just
And
imagining Arya going, "Oh, is this like anti-pondering the orb?"
yeah, he does say, well, we did there was this. It would have been rather funny in the moment. I was a bit tired, just a bit. Of course, didn't affect me any. But there was this little child, has to stop himself from saying brat because he's not a fan of the child. This
Cool.
little child who did assist, and Camille is certainly something, but the orb was in fact pondered before we shattered it because it's a rule. You have to ponder an orb when you acquire it.
Of course, of course. She nods very seriously.
Mhm. Uh, he's Aria, you sweetheart. Oh my god.
He's just baby, Your Honor. What can I say?
She is, baby. And she's been such a good sport listening to his story. She's
Look, it's neat. She likes to hear this stuff. Jubi was nice enough to listen to her, like, her ramble a bit about her adventure. Of course she's gonna listen to him.
yeah. And he thinks about it a little bit, thinks about the ending and kind of wraps it up a bit, talking about just train ride out and a very a neat little bow on top of the story. And everything went well. And
Cool.
he pauses like almost like he's gonna take a bow, but instead just like shoves his hands into his pockets a bit and grins. So that's what I've been up to. Of course, haven't had anything else catch my eye lately, but we'll see.
Things always do seem to happen here in Einquill, don't they?
They do. Everything happens so much. It does. It never stops happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun.
Well, come on. Walk and talk with me. He looks at the birds that have begun to settle around Aria, and a few have landed on her hat as well. It's like, oh, I like shoos a few of them away, like, go on, that's not your perch.
Ar- Arya at least seems oblivious, but I think you can tell, like, when she gets up, she is careful not to disturb the birds, actually.
Oh. Okay.
But she's kind of looking at you and just like, I'm ready and willing. Where are we heading?
It's just. Do you want to get tea? I
Yeah,
mean, may
sure.
as well instead of just sitting out here on the roofs. Come on. And
I
he's
have
gonna.
cookies for it too. And Arya pulls out a bag of cookies. Bag number who knows of how many. Um And
It is
you have
impossible to tell.
yeah, there are cookies inside. They're most certainly burnt. But like from the vibe you're getting from Aria, she seems to think they're the best thing ever.
She's so proud of her cookies. Aw.
Those aren't her cookies. Those are Juniper's cookies.
Oh.
Those are Juniper's cookies. Aria really likes Juniper's burnt cookies.
Aw. He sees them. But this kid, man, this little doll has been so sweet. He's not gonna say anything. He's not gonna comment on it.
Thanks, Jubi, for being a good sport.
He wants to. The sass is so strong. He could make such a terrible comment. But unfortunately, Aria's been a really good sport, and he can't ruin that. That would be a terrible crime, even if he is a criminal.
Yeah, that probably saves you from, I don't know, someone's wrath. I don't know who's at this point, but
Anyone who has met this sweet bean, let's be honest.
oh,
And he, again, let's see. How well do you pull off this little trick of yours you're going to try to do, Jubilee?
oh,
Pretty well. That's a 23.
nice. Is that acrobatics?
That is for acrobatics, yes. So what he does is he kind of steps back to the edge of the roof and says, "Well, follow me. Let me give you a tour." And almost falls backwards. And for a minute, you might be worried that, this guy's falling off a roof. But he manages to kick off and do a backflip onto the next roof over and lands and turns on his heel and starts walking.
Oh, nice. Aria kind of, once more, it's like shiny eyes impression. She can't, she can't just walk normally over there either. That's a 14. Okay. Oh well. You know what? She sees that. She thinks it's really neat. Goes to do something similar.
Mm-hmm.
She instead trips.
The Heelys just came out at the wrong time. It's Heelys.
Technically, they're permanently there. So like, she tries to do the similar kicking trick, but it doesn't quite work. The wheels spin, so like she does get over all right, but you can kind of see her fumble. There's a bit of a clatter as she fumbles a bit, and like goes to walk next to Jubilee, adjusts hat a bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he did. He turned around, but it seems like no, he was just checking to see if she was still there. Mm-hmm.
Definitely not laughing a bit. Nah.
No, he is laughing a bit. That's not hidden. He's chuckling a little bit. He's a bit of a prick. And he's gonna walk along. And so, is this your first time here? You didn't seem to mind the birds at all.
Oh yeah. I mean, the birds are really nice. They're very friend-shaped. But this would be my first time here, yeah.
Well, this place, well, for one, it lives up to its name. It's called Paradise.
Yeah?
From what I've gathered, well, it's not particularly busy either, which is fantastic if you want to, keep away from prying eyes. It's easy to hide when there's so much going on here, and he gestures out, and again, there's birds, just so many birds.
Should I roll an insight on some of those sentences, though?
If you'd like to.
Let's go, Aria. What do you perceive? Not much.
Not much. No, you can tell he's not trying to like hide anything with it. He's being honest. He does think this place is actually, pretty good. Good place to stay. Not much happens. And people don't tend to come here.
Yeah, just a nice place to vibe.
hmm I think, let's see, there used to be a spa here. Heard something about it. That's why they tried to plant all the colorful trees, but spa dried up, birds came in, and I think most people who come here, well, lots of musicians. Don't mind that sort. Let's, keeps walking and let's see, let's just have why not? Let's roll some acrobatics as they go through the city. Just
Let's see what kind of fancy tricks they do.
mm-hmm. Just how good are they at traversing these? Yeah, and that's fitting.
It
19.
is too, with like Jubi having been here before. Well,
Yeah,
from what it sounds like, having been here for quite a while.
yeah. He's familiar with this place as he moves along. And it seems, he knows where to stand, where to jump, where which tiles are a little slippery. And he does occasionally like nudge Aria away from some or point her in a direction that's like, no, 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 we want to go this way. And gets them opportunities where, sure, that route would have been like really easy and you could have just like walked over. But here's a route where you can like swing around and
Like,
do
why do
cool
that when
route
you can
things.
backflip?
Yeah. Why walk when you can be cool and do rogue things?
Yeah. Walking everywhere? No, we're gonna backflip everywhere.
Absolutely. We need parkour.
Yeah, do a barrel roll.
At some point, someone does. And one of the birds does follow along that just flits by.
Amazing.
And as they make their way through town, Jubilee does wind up kind of humming to himself again. Just seems like this place just has him in a really good mood instead of the kind of snarky, guarded sense that you got from him when you saw him last.
Oh, nice. Arya internally is like, that's good. We should have this happen more.
Aw. All right. And as they're going, so let's see. You're tracking someone down. You've stopped here for just a bit. What else can I tell you? Do you even have a place to stay here yet? I know
In
there's
this town,
yeah.
not really. It's like you see her think for a bit, and I do have a home to stay out. In Toontown. Juniper is the one who took me in. She's really nice. She's like my grandma. Made these cookies. They're really good. And
Nods doesn't say anything about the cookies. Can't say anything about the cookies.
legally not allowed to.
Really hard. He wants to, but he can't.
And like Arya continues on with how I am and with my abilities. Generally, having a place to stay isn't such a big issue. I just simply need to find somewhere that's covered for the night, and I can just have a nap as my in my smaller form. Just in maybe a more hidden away alcove, and I'll be all right.
Hmm. Yep. Fine. Well,
can I ask what that was deception, wasn't
yeah.
it?
He's continuously just trying to keep a straight face. He does manage. Yep.
I'm
There's
going to try insight. No.
no.
Can I as the player hear what his thoughts are?
It was definitely there was a bit of a offbeat when Aria was talking about how she just, just slept outside somewhere That's something. Certainly something. That he's just kind of raises an eyebrow at. Like, you. Look, I know you're on these adventures, and you seem to be somewhat new at it. But you do. Are you getting paid for what you do?
Yeah,
Like,
I've been
I know
paid.
you said you had a place in Toontown, but Toontowns can be a bit far away from some places.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a walk.
Yeah, but it's not so bad. I mean, people tend to be pretty nice, and like with how I've been built, I technically don't need a lot, so she seems pretty unfazed, like she's been doing this since she has been.
Okay. He takes deep breath, claps his hands in front of his face, like,
Boy.
okay. Yeah, boy. Concern. All right. So I understand what you mean there. And I get Toon's real kind. Things can be different and being a doll. But I think I think it's probably, you would want to stay somewhere where it's, warm and inside and not out in the elements because that could, I don't know, can you get sick? Can you?
Aria shakes her head, and I at least haven't gotten sick yet.
Not yet. Let's not test that.
she opens her mouth, raises a finger when Jubi says that. She lowers the finger. Get the feeling she was about to tell a story, but it's fine, right? Yeah.
X to doubt, but it's just.
I mean, you can ask her if you wish.
Gotta think it over. Oh.
Roll a whiz save.
Yeah.
Roll a whiz to see whether Jubi asks or not.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah. That's 21. Yeah. Yep. He just. Okay. Tell me. Go on. Tell me, just how bad was it?
Well, I mean, it was just this one time. I was still very new to existing, and this was 2 months back. I've been awake for about a month. First time seeing a lake. I kind of just, she points at their Heelys, and I just kind of flew right in by accident. It was alright. It was neat seeing the fish underwater, but my clothes were kind of soaking for a while. Didn't help that there was a storm after too, but I got out alright.
That's fine. Okay.
Also,
No.
was that another deception on reacting to how old she is?
Yeah. Assume if there's a +8 roll in the dice zone, he is trying to be deceptive again. Just keeping his poker face.
I look upon you and go, insight again. 13,
Close.
dang it. She's
Very
oblivious.
close. She can get a little bit. She definitely knows this story is concerning to him, and that the fact that she's so young. No, she probably mentioned it before, didn't she? Yeah. Certainly not the first time Jubilee's heard this. No, definitely not.
Yeah, it's fine, right? Yeah. Probably the storm bit worried him, but it wasn't that bad. Not like any trees were upturned like that other time.
Pardon? Just what? He genuinely stops and perched on a bit of a precarious position, just stops dead. What do you mean there were no trees like the other time? What have you been getting into?
I mean, I've just been traveling. Um,
Well,
there was this,
how many months have you been traveling?
uh, about 3. I've kind of been traveling ever since I woke up.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Right. And you already got in the storm with the lake and the tree?
Oh, that was like technically nearby. That area just had a lot of storms in generals, I think. Couple trees like toppled over in that forest. I wasn't like that nearby though. I managed to get to town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Avoid there. For one, that's just okay. Uh, You I'd almost say you have a run of bad luck, considering it's 3 months and you already try and face that kind of disaster. Ugh.
I don't know. I've heard of some kid who, like, she stops to think, and now let's see. I've heard like a story of how some folks got trapped in a magic storybook, or how there's just like one studio with some guy that's like assassins keep getting sent to him, but he beats them all up or something. I've heard a bunch of wild stories.
The yeah. The plot can be a bit nonsense. It can. It can.
Tilts her head to the side. The plot.
It tune thing. Don't worry. It's don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
She just nods her head like, all right. She takes your word for it.
Yep. Don't worry about the plot. It exists. It sure does exist. And he just look. Typically, I'd think that. Ugh. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. We're doing this. Okay. Ugh.
What? If she were
Guys.
attuned, there would be a question mark above her head as she tilts it again.
Like he seems to be debating with himself almost, like pacing a little back and forth across. You know what? Why not? He's like perched on a pretty sturdy wire, just back and forth and debating with himself a little bit before clap. Kid, here's the thing. I'm gonna make this very clear from here on. Just if you're gonna be outside, you should at least have a tent because who knows what's out in the woods. Usually nothing good, let's be honest. Out in the woods, you're going to encounter storms and pitfalls and traps and monsters. So many monsters. Like, you can't trust that if you don't have some kind of shelter or preferably other people around. And
I've seen a lot of monsters. This sound like Aria is kind of looking at this like this sounds like it has been figured out from experience. So like, huh?
he just kind of gives a half, like, one shoulder shrug. And kind of barrels on. Like, okay, we're not talking about that one.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
No. Well, look, you're not going to always know what the monsters look like because sometimes they look like regular people. So, and those typically, I've found those are the worst sort. So, I mean, you want. I'm just going to say this. If you're staying here for a night at least, I know there's a few inns here that you said you got paid. Okay. There's a few that I
like
could.
she nods, and I don't have how much money she's, or I need to take a moment to check, but she got 15 from her last job. Okay, yeah, she has about 40 gold at the moment.
She's good. She has gold. That's more than Jubilee's got. That's good.
Jubi, are you broke?
Not yet. Surprisingly, he's not broke yet. This is the longest he's held on to cash. It's great.
That's not worrying at all.
No, certainly not. But he just look. There's a few places that I just sing for my supper, and it's fine, and they'll be nice, and I can put in a good word and probably get you someplace nice-ish, and you won't have to worry about too much gold to stay.
Well,
But you can't
okay,
just.
thanks.
And-
It's if it helps, I don't need if it helps, technically I just need a shelf to sleep on too, because I can just go small. And she waves her hand because Jubi saw her be small before,
Mhm.
right?
He did. He did. And he nods at that. It doesn't seem to help any. He's still concerned. I know, but at that point, just smaller doesn't make it better. Makes it easier to hide, sure. Let's be honest, if small can't be seen, you sneak around places other people can't get to, can't follow you. It's fantastic. Well, for you, it's fantastic. Bit annoying for the rest of us who are a bit taller.
He shrugs with 0 regrets. Sounds like a Jubi problem.
Yeah, sounds like it's.
Being 6'5", she can't imagine that.
No, that's a bit of a you problem, Jubilee, isn't it? But it's okay. So we'll figure that out. You just
Okay.
and from here on, just try and get someplace safer than in a crevice or something. Again, for goodness sake. What is it with kids? Kids have no self-preservation. What is it with you young? Ugh. Sounds so old. God, I sound like him.
First the 6-year-old, now this technically 3 months old.
Yeah. He just does not. He's grumbling to himself about how he sounds so old. He sounds just like him. Ugh.
How old even is Jubi? Would Aria
At
be
least
able to
20.
tell?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll some perception or investigation, I suppose.
I'm gonna take perception because her investigation is a -1 or a 2. It's not good. Okay, it's a 2, but still perception is better. That's a 14.
Yeah, you can tell he's not old. He's kind of grumbling like an old man, but he's not old. You could probably guess he's a young adult somewhere around his early 20s. Somewhere. That white streak in his hair looks like it should be for an old man. That's weird, but nah.
Yeah, Jubi is he sounds man, he sounds like he could be a parent with the way he's grumbling about the kids around him, but yeah, he's not that old, right?
No, you can definitely see. If anything, she can tell this is serious big brother energy. This is older sibling is annoyed.
Older sibling sitting here, and why are all the little kids around me throwing themselves into danger so much?
Why do I have to be the responsible one? That's not my job.
Yeah, it's we need an adult. A proper adult, not him.
You remember, yeah. When Philip was around, it was fine. Philip was the responsible adult, the horse. Yes.
Yeah, the horse was the responsible adult somehow.
Nah, this is very responsible horse. Good horse. Jubilee's a bit of a disaster now that he's having to be somewhat responsible. And there's no one forcing him to be. It's just.
Children.
Children. God, children. And he's
The horror.
Mhm. But they are by now a little close to something. Do you want to roll another perception? This is for something else.
Alrighty, alrighty. Let's go, Aria. You perceive that
You do
is
perceive.
that's an average roll, but that's an 18. So
Yeah, 18's pretty good. You can tell that there's like this little garden area up on one of the structures, and you can see that's kind of what you've been going towards. And for all his grumbling, there seems to be a bit of a tent, but there's a familiar sigil kind of on the side of it that you definitely saw before when he had his guitar out. Um, Want an insight too, just for funsies.
sure, Aria. How good are you? How good are you reading this beanpole?
How can you read this situation? It's an 11.
That's an 11.
That's fine. It wasn't very hard. The DC was a 10 to figure out that.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, for all his saying you shouldn't be outside, you should be somewhere, safe where you're not going to get sick or all this. That's a pretty rickety tent. Someone is very much do as I say, not as I do.
See, the thing is, with her realizing that is his tent, her thought is gonna be, oh, okay, so like window sills are not good enough, but if I get myself a tent and just park it on a rooftop, that should be fine, right? Yeah.
Heart, no.
You can roll insight to try and see if you figure this out.
Oh, Jubi, please. Let's see, what is your insight? Okay, it's decent. It's decent. He does.
You see live as this terrible train of thought happens.
He can see the gears turning, and he just looks back, sees his tent, looks at right, like, no. I see what you're trying to connect the dots. You haven't connected any dots here. There's no dots connected. No.
But
no.
I connected the dots.
You didn't connect anything, my dear. You didn't connect anything. No. No. Just follow what I said. Because the point is, you're a good person. Yes, you're a very good person, Aria. And so we want good things to happen to you because they're going to happen to you because you're a good person. Myself, no, it's fine. It's fine if I'm like this. Okay? Bad things are going to happen anyway. It's probably better that I'm, not around to cause fires in a kitchen or something like that.
Arya kind of looks at you and just press X to doubt, like, what decides that you're a bad person then? Like, why shouldn't you have nice things? You deserve them too.
I'm not a nice person. I mean, you've seen odd instances where, I mean, come on, that book, let's be honest, the innkeeper was probably trying to scare us a little bit with how the book was worried about some big bad villain. I mean, it's writing the story itself. We were destined to be the heroes. There was no option to be anything but the heroes. So, you saw that. You did see that. Outside of magical dreams induced by books. Not exactly hate to crush your dreams, kid, but I'm not exactly a good person. Not really that sort. I'm more
What decides that, though? Because, I mean, you've been plenty nice to me. You've been plenty nice to the others. Like, do you want to be a villain? Like, do you want to be one of those cartoonist villains? Or, like...
You want to roll some insight? Roll
Because
some
it's
insight.
like... Aria, please do well at this. That's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20. Yep. You, Aria, you see the instant that the outline of Jubilee's eye fades from his glasses, and his smile that's usually there has become very rigid, like he's forcing himself to grin and not lose it. And for all she's saying, do you want to be a villain? You pick it up that Arya, he already believes he is.
Arya kind of gives you a look like you're being very silly. Like, who you want to... Like, she says this bit out loud, so... Who you want to be is up to you, you know? Like... My own origins aren't the most friendly. That isn't stopping me from going out and exploring and doing my best.
Evan, he does not make his wisdom save. He does not. He's the little twinge of the glasses, and he just... Because Arya, there are some people who are just destined to be a villain, to be the bad guy. And those people, like myself, are, you find out along the way. You don't always know it. You don't always know it. Nobody starts out wanting to be the bad guy. Everyone starts out wanting to be the hero. You want to be someone fantastic that people can look up to and that you can make everyone around you proud. And you think things are going to go well, and then they don't. And it's fine, and you can come back from that. Like, you fell into a lake. And of course, falling into a lake isn't what makes you a villain. No, it was bad luck. It was just a run of bad luck. And then you go and you find, hey, I'm really good at this one thing. And you keep doing that thing, but, well, you realize, oh, that's a bad thing that you're doing. So you try and stop doing that. But, everything's great and it's going so well and you're doing so great at it and everything else you're not good at it. But you try and turn it around and it's great and it's fine and you're doing everything right, but you just keep falling apart. So, and he kind of stops himself as he realizes he was running on and clears his throat.
Arya just kind of looks at you and is like, mentally she's going, I should bring him on more fun adventures. Clearly he's been through, like she's getting the impression that your life has not been like the most pleasant. Just like, bit of an understatement, but like, there's a pause and Arya's like, is just, just because your skills might not seem the most heroic or something, doesn't mean that you have to be a villain, It's a choice of how you choose to act and how you decide to go about things in the end, I think, because I myself woke up in an abandoned antique shop. Most people would probably, like, if someone were to find my doll self there, they'd probably think I was cursed or something, and who knows, I'm alive. Most dolls don't come to life like this. But I choose to live anyways. Just 'cause maybe things haven't gone well for you for a while doesn't mean you can't do good anyways and try to live,
He gives a bit of a wry grin and puts his hand on your hat and kind of tilts it down over your face a little bit, kind of being a little bit of a prick, but it's that kind of fond, yeah, sure, kind of thing. And you'll figure it out in time, kid. You know, it's your optimism is sweet. It's really sweet, but I know my lot. Come on, we're almost there. Let's go get tea.
Okay.
And he keeps moving.
She's very press X to doubt on his opinions on himself, but like, well, she said her bit here. Clearly, she'll just need to drag him out to do more fun things.
And he listened. He wasn't. Clearly, he was listening. He was paying attention. It just. I mean, that was a 7 wisdom save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm not even gonna.
I'm like, hey, Jubi, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm not gonna even have him roll deception because that was a. He's pretty rattled there. He's not doing all the fun tricks anymore. He's definitely kind of in his own head at the moment as he goes over to his tent, and you see it's pretty simple, pretty nice. Again, little rickety and more open, but there's like a few bowls of birdseed out, some more full than the others. And it's simple, very, very, very simple. And he sits down and let's see, can you pull the things you want out? Let's pull 3d10.
Is
And you
it
get
bad
things
that
from your
I
hand
have the
face.
image of like Aria settling down, little fellow comes back out from under her hat, and like she pours just a little bit of birdseed into the little fellow.
Good. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just like you saw that sort of like a little door
Mm-hmm.
that open on like as the sort of face that can open up. So just a bit of birdseed is poured there, and she like leaves the rest for the other birds. But like if you hear Indigo like walking about a bit, it's like you hear a toop toop as the birdseed is inside.
Oh, I'd say, yeah, that is fitting because he's pulling stuff from his sleeves and he's definitely got, it's already kind of a camp stove is already out. He didn't put that away. Do need to roll a d20 because one of those was a fumble.
Whoops.
Let's see. He got the tea out. He got stove out. What are you missing? What did you pull out instead? Oh, that. Oops. So instead of attempting, he tried to pull out a teapot. Instead, out comes a blue stuffed sheep plushie. That's got a few little patches, kind of like on his coat, and immediately his face goes bright pink, and he's like, stuffs that back up his sleeve.
Aria just tilts her head to the side, like, "Oh, that's a plushie. That's cute. Like, what of?"
Don't worry about the sheep. Don't worry about the sheep. That's not the teapot.
She's like, "Can I roll insight to see if there's anything more?" Just like she's curious about the sheep plushie now.
Yeah.
Dang it, that's a 9.
That's fine. There's nothing more. It's a very cute plushie that was clearly very well loved, and he's a little embarrassed.
Why?
It's
It's only your little sister. Aria isn't even cheeky enough to tease you at this point about it. Maybe in the future, but we'll get there.
not yet. No, definitely not. But he thankfully recovers and manages to pull out teapot and quick perception. Go ahead.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's
That's a
good.
27.
Yeah, you can tell this teapot is, for one, a little bit. It looks almost 2D, a lot like Jubilee does, but the way he's moving it and the way that it interacts with everything around it is very much 3D as he's going about and making the tea. And the way that he does it looks a lot like you might have seen if you know. Does Aria know any Ghibli tunes?
Let me think. She knows Jubilee, but that's about it, I think.
Fair. Kind of. She kind of does. Might have heard about it, but that it definitely
Like,
is reminiscent of that sort of thing.
I can roll, I guess this would be history?
Sure.
This would be history, which is gonna go great, but that's a 14.
Good enough.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. It's definitely enough to kind of recognize some of it. Not enough to know, like, yes, this is specifically from here. But no, it's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of familiar. And he does that, gets the tea set and the cups and everything, and pours out a cup for Aria. Looks at the little friend a minute, considers it, nods to himself, and pours a second cup of tea for the little friend, just in case. And then one for himself, and settles down.
Little friend has decided you are a good person. Just sits over. So, like, don't ask how they're drinking it. Just occasionally you see the little door open and, like,
Just the level of tea lowers.
yeah, exactly.
Magic.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Aria on her end is definitely enjoying the tea.
Mm-hmm.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah,
She has pulled out the cookies to share.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely a lavender tea. It's just kind of guessed. Sure, lavender tea and cookies. And
Does Jubi take a cookie?
would he? Let's roll a d2 on a 1. He does. Yep.
I guess that's roll a con to see how much you like the cookie.
Let's see. Roll a constitution save. Julie, how well do you handle the burnt cookie? 12. Average.
So that sure is a burnt cookie. You can tell it was made with love. And the recipe was probably quite nice, but that sure do be a burnt cookie. You don't quite get why Aria seems to like them so much, but yup.
Mm-hmm. And he's trying to be polite about it. He's trying. That's a base of 3.
Let me roll insight. I'm rolling insight at disadvantage.
Yeah. He's not.
That's a 10. She just misses it.
Mm-hmm. He's fine. He's fine. He's probably just, thirsty from running around on the rooftops all day. That's why he keeps definitely taking more sips of tea. Mm-hmm. Not because the cookies taste very burnt. No, not at all.
Definitely not. No.
No, he's being
Everything's
polite.
fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. Arya definitely isn't plotting to get this Birdman out more. Yeah.
Mhm. And it's quiet for a little bit, just having the tea, mulling over what was said and things. Probably, maybe just a little bit of chit chat as Juvi does explain what inns are around. But I need both of us at this point to roll in perception.
Okay. Perception time, baby. That's 12.
And you,
Arya's focus is currently on tea, Cookie, and Jubi. And her little friend,
Juvi,
of course.
he knows what's going on here. It's advantage. That's a 17. Yeah. So over the time, a few birds have settled. There's a few, just here and there, not a lot. But there's one that settles down, that kind of hops around and definitely like hops closer to Arya, almost kind of like it's trying to hide by her hat's veil and kind of pecks at it a little bit. Jubilee goes very still and very stiff. And that is a crow.
Is there anything unusual about the crow? Arya's gonna try and like take a closer look with lifted the veil even.
Go ahead. Yeah, perception. Because you're just looking, you're not really investigating the crow. Oh, yeah.
That's a 12 again. It's just a crow, right? Yeah,
Just a crow.
definitely nothing unusual.
It's got a cute little necklace on. It's so sweet. Cute little ribbon around its neck. It's got purple ribbon even. It's so pretty.
Arya wonders if like this crow belongs to someone.
Maybe. Who knows? But
Dang, she can't bring this crow home with her. Oh well. Another
no.
crow sometime.
It's so cute. It's got a little charm on it. Don't know what that would be, or why Jubilee is very quickly suddenly packing everything up.
Insight, dang it, that's a 9.
Well, let's see. Roll at disadvantage with that one. 12. Ah, so close. But yeah, has swiftly downed the rest of his tea. And is standing up and like, oh, you know what? I just remembered. I have a bit of a. I have some place to be going. And actually, let's Sorry, we have to cut tea short. The inn that I said I wanted you to stay at, the one that's really good. We need to go soon, otherwise they'll close and you won't get a room.
Oh, okay. One moment then, and like she puts the cookies away, upturns the tea in herself, makes sure her little body is satisfied, and places him back under her hat. If there's any more tea, casually just downs that herself and helps put away. Like she will help Juby put the items away. Like carefully places crow friend on a side if they allow themselves to be held and just
They do.
packing away. This is fine, right? Juby probably has a job. He mentioned that he plays songs for the tavern. It's getting to be evening, right? Yeah, dinner time soon.
Yeah.
Gotta get ready for that.
Funny enough, the little bird, the little crow, does let Arya pick it up. And it actually, it's a sweet little bird. It perches on her shoulder.
Adorable.
Mm-hmm.
She would let the bird perch on her shoulder for a bit, but then like when she helps like put away the table, she will actually like just go to a side. Like this is in a park, right?
Yeah, it's like on a rooftop somewhere. There's kind of a garden-ish area around it. Like it's a rooftop garden that his tent was in the middle of.
Okay, yeah. Arya would like go to maybe one of the, if there's like a bush, she'd like carefully place bird friend on the bush and is like, I'm gonna have to go now, but you were very nice. I'll see if I can get some bread for you sometime. Pets the bird friend, goes back to Jubilee.
And Bert sits for a little bit. And then it kind of flutters up, but it doesn't go far. If you want, you can roll insight again.
Let's go. Arya, do you perceive anything? That's
That's
a
a
net
nat
20.
20. Yeah. This bird has laser eyes on Jubilee. And Jubilee himself is very much stressed out, not because he's late for anything, but because that bird is here.
Just
And
like,
go on.
Okay, I guess. What is your deception, Arya?
As Jubilee is
She is
frantically
not
packing up.
good at decepting. She tries to make it that bird friend doesn't hear, but she's really not good at whispering yet.
No,
She's
she hasn't
just,
quite grasped it.
yeah, she's just like, are you being followed? Do we need to hide somewhere for you? I can find the good hiding places, she says, right in front of the bird.
Yep. Right in front of the bird. Yeah, oh, that's a little better even with the disadvantage. That's a 21. Julie's just packing up really quick. It's surprising how quick he manages this. He's pretty
Like
practiced
he's
about.
used to it or something.
Yeah, almost like he's really used to having to make a quick exit from places. And he just waves her off a little bit, like, no, just, crows, not a fan of them. There's really not many around. Really, just not usually the sort you see here. And he keeps like looking back towards the bird and kind of he doesn't really give it like a dirty look, but more of a kind of disappointed that it's here, and grabs Arya's hand if she lets him,
She'll let him.
and does start again moving very quickly across the rooftops. More so than
Quick,
before.
quick question. What's Juby's fastest moving speed?
If he dashes, he can go 60 feet.
Can he bonus action dash?
Yes, he can bonus action dash.
So, like his base speed is a 30 then, so
Yeah.
okay, the fastest Arya can go is 105 feet.
Oh, very fast.
Yeah, because her base speed is 35, and action dash, bonus action dash.
Noom.
So, like, she's actually going to tug Juby along, and you'll see the reason why she's so fast is she's skating on the rooftops.
Nice. And I think at first they're like, yeah, this is fine. And then in true comedic fashion, Arya takes the lead and they noom. And you hear a very surprised crow squawk behind them as they just start running. And I think, oh, goodness, because Juby can't go that fast, but we'll see. How well can you keep up? Let's roll you some dexterity. Yeah, let's roll a dex save. That'll be the same.
I could try rolling athletics to see if Arya can pick you up. We'll see how badly that goes, though.
That would be funny. Do it. That's
It's a 16. Is that enough?
I'd say, yeah. It's a little unwieldy to pick him up, just because he's tall. But Arya, you're not much
Arya
shorter than
isn't.
him.
Yeah, she's not much stronger. She's not like the strongest, but she just about manages. So hey, Juby,
And
You're being bridled carried by your doll friend here. And she's just casually
he's a lot lighter
skating.
than you'd think too. It's like, wait, you think, he's so tall, he's probably gonna be, and you almost like sweep him up off his feet, almost like you were expecting that it'd be a bit harder to pick him up, but no, it is done, and you are going quickly.
Yeah.
Holds on like, this is new. Okay, hello, we're doing this now.
Just like, okay, cool. Can you like point me to where we're gonna go?
Yeah, this way. And it is roll acrobatics with advantage.
I was gonna say I'm gonna roll in acrobatics.
Yeah.
So we'll take that 16.
Yeah.
No, let's not look at the nat one.
We don't look at the other one. No, it's advantage because Jubilee is guiding you, Aria. And this route is a little trickier than before. But because you are trying to lose a bird in a city that was made to pretty much coexist with a lot of birds. So it is, let's see. Jubi, let's roll some stealth to see just how well you can guide her through and try and lose the bird.
Shall I have Aria roll stealth too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Rogue's gonna be sneaky. Rogue's gonna be very sneaky. That's a 24 and a 23 for our listeners. And
so, rogue's gonna rogue, man.
They do. And it takes longer than you'd think it should to lose the bird, but there's this one point where there's this rooftop that you think, no, there's not a lot there. It seems like weirdly open, and like, no, that's not the way. But Jubilee's like, no, you need to go that way. And as you skate across that rooftop, suddenly it's like you've stepped into a kaleidoscope as this massive flock of birds that you didn't quite see from your vantage point before fly up in a huge swirling rainbow cloud. And in that...
Can I say Aria kinda jumps down? The flock flies all around her. She jumps down that roof.
Mm-hmm.
And with all the birds around, then she takes that moment to... Well, I mean, from Crow Friend's perspective, it's like the two rogues just disappeared.
Yeah, it's just a cloud of birds, and Crow is like, can't see through that.
Yup.
It's a perceptive little creature, but it can't beat that.
Yeah.
And the flock goes up, and it stays a little bit, but they'll quickly disperse. And because you were looking for it before, you know that the crow was there. The crow's gone.
That's cool. Like, Aria just casually steps. I'm going to say she actually went to the bottom streets and hid in an area there.
Yeah, there was probably a way down on the other side of the roof that you could like hop from an awning onto like a dumpster down onto the ground.
Yeah. I'm just imagining her like peeking out from like behind the corner with Jubi still being held.
Yeah. Just peek out. Nope. No sign of the bird. And Jubi sags like a limp noodle in her arms.
Wibble wobble.
Yeah, exactly. And just, well, I suppose my visit here's over.
Well, hey, I was saying we're gonna go out of town soon myself. We could go to that inn and then tomorrow continue our travels?
You know, sure. Sure, I probably have time for that. Yeah, takes about a day. So, nah. Yeah, why not?
Arya just nods like, yeah, this is good. She doesn't let you down, and she just keeps on skating on the streets, just like, well, point me the way.
Yep. And they do. It's make it to just, again, a very quiet inn, almost like the one that you two actually met in. That same kind of cozy hearth. And from there, I'll say, because Aria, you are a sweetheart, I'll give you one chance to roll perception. As,
Perception, you say.
yeah,
21.
21. And we'll see. Because this doesn't happen right away. Yeah. But after, like, just in the night, you get a room, and just at some point, you get a feeling, Aria. And you go to check and see, because, Jubilee was just so off earlier. And he stayed quiet after the bird again. Didn't quite manage to get back up to his level of rambunctious that he was earlier.
Currently, Aria is just going like, is this that plot thing he mentioned? Like, is this... I've heard things about dramatic backstories. Is this kicking in? I better check in on him.
And when you do, you find his room is empty. And the only thing left behind is just a little note that says, "We'll catch up later."
Okay, that's fair. And they will. She has to heckle him some more after all.
She does, in fact, have to heckle him. And but with that, I do believe we can end this FPS between two birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we shall see you some other time, listeners. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me, Noodle. And, well, thank you to everyone who has listened and who will listen. And thank you so much, Mala, for recording this.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.